Hi, this is Stan Webb with the Elder Care Channel of Wichita, and I'm here today with Jennifer Stultz, who is an estate and elder law attorney. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me, Stan.
Jennifer, would you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your practice?
Sure. Well, I've practiced law in Wichita now for about 18 years, and my practice really focuses solely on estate planning and elder law and probate work.
Okay, I know a lot of people, even in my profession, they go, elder law, what does that really mean? So
Mhm.
I'm going to ask you,
Well,
what is elder law and what does that mean that you do for your clients?
it actually covers a lot of areas of the practice of law. Um, we do everything for people, including estate planning. We might assist with um, some qualification for Medicaid or division of assets. Basically, any area that would be a legal area that would be for our clients who are seniors and older.
Okay, so to put it in layman's language, as we get older, we might need someone like you with your experience with any kind of legal matters that has to do with aging or things that affect people that are aging.
That would be correct. Absolutely.
Okay, well, what does someone need to do or situations before they might contact someone? Give some examples of potential clients for you. Like there's a lot of different attorneys,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're doing this or if you're looking at this besides just getting older, that
Right.
they would need to contact you.
Right. Well, a lot of the clients that we've been meeting with recently have had issues with impairment or a diagnosis of a disease that is going to cause impairment in the future. And we spend a lot of time with people working on getting documents in place that would be appropriate, powers of attorney for financial matters, for healthcare matters. A lot of people who want to do some very basic estate planning to know that they have everything covered in the event something happens. Because obviously, once you become impaired, you're no longer able to do your estate plan or change your estate plan in most cases.
And this would include things like wills and trusts as well.
Absolutely.
You need all the other supporting documents for certain things, but the
Mm-hmm.
wills and trust, that's a lot of chatter as I talk with seniors here in the area. They're always so concerned about getting that will done or getting the trust done, and they've been meaning to get it done for maybe a lifetime. But it's something that's important. But that's something that you start and then educate them on other documents that they may need to protect them or their family.
Absolutely, and we do a lot of education and discussion about whether you need a will or whether you need a trust and what are the options that are available and tailor that specifically to the client and what they may need or may not need.
Exactly. And, that's one of the things and the reason that I've asked you here today is the fact that you do a lot of education. I do a lot of speaking for financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's legal is still a type of financial literacy, but I'm not sure the right word to say what, you talk about legal matters and financial matters because they all kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
They do. And there's a lot of misconception. Um, I don't know where it's all been generated, but I've spent a lot of time in my 18 years of practice really helping to teach people what the law is, what would happen if you don't have a will or you don't have a trust or if you don't have these documents in place. And I think that's part of what a good lawyer should do is to really lead people to make the decisions that they want for themselves and not really just decide that everyone needs this particular kind of estate planning package.
Right. And I guess then, if we were to say that people's good intentions aren't necessarily very legally binding.
That would be correct. That would be true.
um, Jennifer, would you tell us maybe a little bit, maybe some examples of some people that you've been able to help out of different circumstances?
Sure. I think One of them that you just mentioned, I recently had someone in the office who had decided to prepare their own will, which can be valid. But luckily they came in and we went through it. It was not valid. It would not have done what they wanted it to do. And so that was a really good thing that they came in to have just to have me review it to make sure it was going to work like they wanted it to work. I've spent a lot of time recently helping people who believe that once one spouse needs to go live in a long-term care facility, that they need to immediately prepare for division of assets and apply for Medicaid. And we spent a lot of time crunching numbers and making sure that that is really something that, sure, legally I could help that process take place, but maybe it's really not necessarily the financially smart thing to do for the client.
Yeah, because there's so much information that's out there, and even in my industry, I'm trying to be nice, not a lot of it, not much of it is true, and it's hard to know what's true for your situation versus what may be helpful in another situation. What would you say that sets you apart in your practice different from other attorneys in the area?
Well, I think one of the things that we really strive to do is to custom tailor our representation or our time with our clients to be about what they need and to spend an adequate amount of time with them so that they're comfortable. I build relationships. I have been associated with other places where there may not have been that type of an emphasis. And so my firm really believes and really practices in building long-term relationships with our clients, knowing about them, and spending the time that's necessary to really understand what they need and to find solutions that make sense financially for them as well as legally.
And I think that's kind of rare, someone that really cares.
We do.
And I assume you're still taking new clients.
We are.
And if someone wanted to get in contact with you, how would they go about doing that?
We are in Wichita, and phone number is 316-558-3540. We're obviously in the phone book as well.
Do you have a website?
I do. It is stultzlaw.com. That's STULTZ.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm here with Jennifer Stultz, who's an estate and elder law attorney. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
What we want to talk about today is power of attorneys. We hear about them a lot. I think most people know that they need one. And I've heard excuses of why they didn't get one, what I call professionally done. Well, they have them ready for me to sign when I go to the hospital. You're laughing.
I've seen those.
Or if I go to the bank, I can just, sign this, or I don't have to worry about it because it's in a joint tenant, all these kinds of things. So tell us a little bit about why power of attorneys are important and some reasons they may want to go ahead and get one done.
Well, I think the most important reason, at least from my perspective, is that we are all more likely to become disabled or impaired than we are to pass away. I mean, we all know that that is going to be inevitable, but our bodies are being kept alive a lot longer. We're having our minds maybe not as sharp as they once were, but it is possible for anyone to need one at any moment. And so I think that powers of attorney are probably one of the most important legal documents that you can have in place.
What's the difference between the two major types also?
Okay. There is a financial power of attorney, and that authorizes someone to handle all of your financial business in the event that you become impaired. And then there is a healthcare power of attorney. Again, the same situation. You're unable to communicate what you want for your health care. Someone needs to be able to tell the healthcare providers what your wishes are.
Now, is that different than what's called a living will?
It is different from what's called the living will. A living will is simply your expression that you don't want your life to be artificially prolonged in the event that your death is imminent, or that you are terminal, and that whatever they want to do will only prolong the dying process. So that's your living will, and that's your intent to not be kept alive.
Because I've heard people and clients come to me and say, "Well, I've got that medical thing,"
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't know there's a difference between power of attorney and living will or medical care directive.
Right.
I've heard it called as well.
Correct. And
So,
a lot of times we'll end up with documents that were generated at the hospital, so that someone has filled out this documentation. It may or may not really address what your wishes might be. It really typically doesn't usually give the agent enough authority to be able to um, make decisions that you you may have wanted made. Sometimes there's new information that's discovered, and your agent, under the power of attorney, should be able to make decisions based on the new information, judging by what you would have wanted had you known it.
so what you're saying then is it gives them the ability, as your conditions change, for drug treatment, medical care, all kinds of different things, where a one stop shop, this instant covers everything for all time, might not really do what people think.
Right. And different hospitals will treat people differently. Different facilities may have a belief that food and nutrition, for instance, is not medical care. And
Mm.
so, if you have a very strong feeling that you don't want to have be fed with a feeding tube, or you don't want you want to be able to eat your food how we normally would, then you may want to be able to not be in that kind of a facility.
I know that my own personal experience, where I was very thankful that I had my ducks in a row, as I call them, legally,
Mm-hmm.
is I went for a medical procedure. Standard procedure, you go home in less than an hour, life's good, you can eat a big dinner, no worries. Well, it went wrong. And all of a sudden, I needed emergency care.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember them giving me the pain medicine. That was very appreciated. And then it's like, hello, how are you? Do you have a will? I mean, you're going for a test, and the first question after, do you
Right.
feel any pain? Do you have a will?
Right.
Do you have power of attorneys? Who is this person with you? Are they that person?
Mm-hmm.
Where are your documents located if we need them? That's pretty scary. And I remember mumbling, oh yeah, mm, in the safe.
Right.
And, the comfort then, knowing that I had mine done, and that was not planned.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my own personal experience, but I know you see and hear these things all the time. I don't know if you get calls to rush over because we didn't do anything and now we have 30 minutes to get something done.
We have that regularly. We have, people have urgent medical needs, and you don't know that today you may have a stroke, or something may happen where you need those documents in place.
Would you say that the medical or the financial power of attorney, one was more important than the other?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, obviously, I think the healthcare or the medical power of attorney is very important, because your wishes may not be carried out if you don't have them. From a financial perspective, having the right person designated to be able to step in to deal with, we typically think about dealing with financial institutions, with banks and investment companies, but we don't think about the fact that someone needs to deal with the health insurance company or Social Security, or being able to sign a tax return. Those kinds of things are not taken care of having someone as your joint tenant on your bank account. That's not enough.
That's true. Well, is there anything then in your practice that you would want to maybe leave everybody with here, as far as 2 or 3 points of be sure that you get this, this, and this done and not wait?
No, absolutely. I think the the three most important things are to have the durable powers of attorney in place. You need one for medical, you need one for financial, a living will, obviously, if you want one, some kind of a documentation that would allow someone to be your person who can receive your protected health information so that the facilities or the hospitals can communicate with the people, making sure you choose the right people. We see a lot of times that we've chosen a group of people to be the agents who will not necessarily get along, or a person who won't follow your wishes. And you know, that's always a little bit dicey.
Yeah, that really would be. If someone wanted to reach out to you, for some personalized advice, how would they contact you?
I'm here in Wichita, and phone number is 316-558-3540, and we have a website at stultzlaw.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.